So when we talk about the actor, so first of all, we will discuss about the the static mesh and the skeletal mesh. When we talk about the static mesh, is a piece of a geometry that consists of a set of the polygons. If I click on this basic shapes over here and drag and drop just my cube into my scene, press F. So when we see into the basic shapes, this is most are the static mesh, right? Static mesh is a consist of a set of the polygons that can be cached in a video memory and rendered by the graphic card. This allow them to be rendered efficiently, meaning they can be a much more complex than other type of the geometry such as the brushes. When we talk about this geometry, I'll just show over here. Just one second. If you'll go to the world outliner, here we can able to see what is a type. Here we can see, for an example, this cube is the static mesh over here. If I'm dragging any geometry, for an example, this box over here, so this will be my brush, correct? Static mesh are the basic unit used to create the world geometry for the level created in Unreal Engine. These are the 3D models created in external modeling applications such as 3D Max, Maya, Softimage, and so on, that are imported into the Unreal editor through content browser. This I already shown you how we can import our model in Unreal Engine. The vast majority of any map into game made with the Unreal will consist of the static mesh, generally in the form of static mesh actor. Other use the static meshes are for the creating movers such as door or the lift, rigid body physics object, foliage and terrain decorizations, procedurally created buildings, game objective, and many more visual elements. If I'll see over here, I'll just type over here st underscore static meshes. I'll go to the my contain chair. Here we can see sm static mesh is there, right? So for an example, what I'll do, I'll just drag drop this chair into my scene. In my world outliner, I can see that is a static mesh. So there are different way we can change the inside of the character. For an example, this is the one character which I imported. This is my static mesh character. If I'll go down into my your detail options over here, here I can able to see this is my static chair. If I want to change, I do not change my actor, but I will change the inside of my actor. If I'll change over here, if I'll see this is become a different object, but if you see the name of the character remains the same. Again, I click on this arrow here, I will find it out how much 3D actors if I want to replace are the main property of that brush. If I'll say select in this, press F, here you can see this is again become a one foliage, but the name remains the same. I'm not changing the actor, I'm only changing the inside of my static meshes over here, correct? If I'll say zoom in zoom out, so this is the my static mesh actor over here. Here I can change it as per the my requirement, right? So when we talk about the static mesh, we can change. If I'll just click over here, it will send me the directions. What I'll do, I just need to select any of my object, for an example SM. If I want to change into this, I'll select my uh, actors over here, and I just need to click on this arrow, so automatically this will get replaced into the same character. See again, so move, rotation, scaling property will be the same, only my static mesh got changed over here, right? If I click, it will show me directions of that which I want to do. Again, I'll just select this my table, click over here. Now this has become my static meshes over here. Select this and press F, correct? Now when we talk about the skeletal mesh, we can animate individual part of the mesh, right? See, when we talk about the difference between the static mesh and the skeleton geometry, In static mesh, we can't do the animations. In skeletal property, yes, we can do the animations. To slow the physics, see for an example, if I'll just start to play over here, here you can see. Now again, this is, we can say, a static mesh, right? This objects which I'm hitting with my bullet over here. So these are the static meshes over here. Press escape. For an example, what I'll do again, I'll drop to my cubes. Now press F. I'll just maximize this my viewport. I'll put this over here. If this is my object, right? If I'll see from my camera view over here, again F11, I'll just play into. I can't see any movement to this character. If I click over here, this has become the rigid. So what I'll do, I'll select my cube. I'll go to its outliner property, and this time I will select the movable on your right hand side. I'll just go down. Let's see the more property. This is the, here you can see the static mesh. We can change inside of that. This is the material elements over here. Just below that, there is a physics property. Now simulate physics. If I just click over here, here you can see by default enable gravity is on. Now if I'll play my game, I can able to see this box which I've created. Now it's animated. Let me put it a little bit bigger size. There is to be the more distance, so that will be easy to see. Now see, that is animated. If I try to hit this cube, here you can see it is automatically flying over there. Now stop over here, press F, select this property, go F. So this is I'm doing into a static mesh. If I'm importing geometry, if you are downloading any lower versions of Unreal, the name will be the difference. It will become over here BSP, that is called binary space partitions over here. But if you are working on the 4.25 Unreal or 4.26, here we can see the geometry which name they have given over here. If I drag and drop my this cube over here, here you can say, here we are not getting any physical properties options, right? So here we can't do the animations like, you know, the flap animation. If I want to do, I can't do that. Select and just delete this area, box cubes, and just delete that. Now we'll discuss more about this on the static mesh. If I'll select and go down, here we have the mass. If I'm giving the more value into the mass, it will become a more heavy. Say for an example, 1000 this kg, and just start to play. Here you can see it's become a more heavy mass kg over here, right? Just below that, we have the more property, linear damping and the angular damping. If I'll turn off this, enable gravity, now it will work like, you know, a space kind of things. This will fly like spaceship. Here we can see there are no gravitations applied to it, right? Escape again, zoom, just drag it down more, stop and play. Just play this. Here you can see there are no gravity which has applied to this. This will be the continuations here. This box or the cube, the static mesh is flying. Press escape, go zoom out over here. If I'll turn on this, this will be a enable gravity will be on. Now if I'll play it again, here we will see here this is a, like interacting with the character. Stop, move. Here we can see this cube is moving, right? Again I'll go over here, press escape, zoom out. Now we will talk about more about the linear damping. Now linear damping controls how much physics body or the constraint resistant translations, and angular damping control how much they resist rotating. Now if I'll increase this linear damping value over here, and again I'll go and just play this. place it here, you can see this is not rotating that much. Right now, if I'll say angular damping and linear damping, make this to a 0, and angular damping little bit more, if I'll make this to a 30, here we can see this rotations after the hitting of that character, this will rotate very fast. Stop and just give the little bit more linear damping over here. I'll reduce the mass into something 10. Stop, play. Here we can see that the movement. I'll increase the more angular damping nearby 2000 or something. Linear damping to the minus. Stop and this play. Here you can see it's got bounce. The secondary movement is too much. So angular damping, I'll this give this time only a 300. Linear damping minus 10. Just start and play over here. I'll turn off this angular gravity, start and this play. So there is a multiple time we need to, give the value and see how much effects what we are getting. This is totally depending upon our the game requirement. This to give the linear damping more, or linear damping make this to a 0. Start, play. Let's reduce this into something by 10. Stop and play. Mass is too much, just give this to mass 1. Gravity on. Stop and play. I'll just say build on. So I've added the more objects in my scene. So whenever we are facing this error, always we have to do the build. Into the build, there are some options which I like to show. When I'll click on this build, we have the build lighting quality. You want into a production, high, medium, and for the preview purpose. If you have the good configuration machines, you can do into the productions. Or if you want to just check for the prototype, you can click on this preview file over here. This is a building the light over here, 91% has completed. So this is the main difference between the static mesh and the skeletal mesh over here. We'll see more about as process. I will show what are the different property we have into the geometry. If you see that error is gone now. Again go to this arrow and just click on this play. Right, you can do the mask edge if you want to apply it. Just make it by default over here. Again build and play. So this is like the difference of what you can do. This is the static mesh over here again. If I'll select this object here, will say the linear damping is 0.01 over here. Mask edge is 4.2, just for the references. Now just for an example how I open this project, go to the file, open project is new project over here, games, first person game. If you just click on that, create next, and this file will get open. This is a by default inbuilt in Unreal Engine. Now we'll talk something about the brushes, right? What is the brushes what we have? This is the geometry we call as a brush. So over here, geometry brushes are the most basic tool for level constructions in Unreal. Conceptually, it is the best to think of a geometry brush as a filling in and carving out volume of a space in your level. Previously, geometry brushes were used as a primary building block into the level engine. These are all brushes we can use into the the prototype. Now, however, that the role has been passed to the static meshes, which are far more efficient. Again, if you are downloading the the previous or the older version of the Unreal, there will be a little bit variations in that. But when we talk about this 4.26, we can see the geometry brushes over here. Brushes mean the 3D area and the space and the more basic shapes, right? Here we can see we are getting a box. If I drag and drop over here, if I'm making a duplicate, if I want to make any level or any, we can say the modeling, any exterior or the interior part of my scene, if I'm using a geometry, it will take more RAM. If I'll say Control W, I'm just making a duplicate of that file over here, that my object, just W. Shortcut key for that is the Control W. And here you can see it's taking a making a duplicate instance over here. If I'm selecting this object, instead of I'll say Control and W, again I'm making an instance of the same object. But in Unreal Engine, static mesh will consume a very less RAM compared to the brush type. So this is, always we have to decide like which is on which we want to create any 3D models from the 3D softwares, or we want to modify into Unreal objects only. F11 again is over here. Mesh saves one memory, and BSP will calculate the more memory after creating a multiple duplicates, right? Now, first of all, I'll create the new level over here. This is my default. I will save and select over here. This is my new level. Now we'll try to see what the different property and the options what we have in brushes. When I'll select the brush into my, the place mode over here, here we have the option add in the subtract. First, I will create one cube over here, press F. If I'll select and move, right? Here we have the more properties. When we'll go to the, the world outliner, below that we have the detail options over here. Here we have the brush type, we have adhesive, and we have subtractive. So brush type, you want into a box, you want to be in the cone, or you want into a cube builders. Here we can change by default what brushes we have over here, the same options we have in our detail panel. This is my cone builder, and this time again I will take the cube over here. Here we have the XYZ, the size of that XYZ. Here we can change, modify and express their requirement. That is the option is called the hollow. How much hollow you want over here. It's kind of, we can't, for an example, I'll create one more cube over here. This time I will select the subtractive and drag and drop over here. Here we can see it's came just only into a wireframe. If I'll move in that area, this has become automatically subtractive over here. So this is a very easy if I'm making a door. So there is just only the one component over here. Just drag and drop. You can scale and reduce it. But we have to make very clarify what will be the size before importing over here. Just move over here, drag and drop. If that option is off, I'll select this my cube over here. I'll go to the down. Select cube, up arrow, down arrow. We have the hollow. Here I can increase and decrease the thickness as well. Here you can see. If that option is off, on, right? So if I want to make any door kind of element over here, so this is very easy with the help of this subtractive. I can do that. Tessellate we have like wireframe. If you want to get, here we can say this has become a triangular over here. So each and every geometry of the BSP object have their own properties and value. As of now, we are looking into a cube. If I'll go down over here, these are the main properties of that particular cube. Select and delete. When we talk about the cone, I need to be the add. I'll just change this into the add. Press F. Add is additive we have, cone we have. Here we can change the different shapes of the geometry. Here we have the size only. Outer radius, here we can increase and decrease over here. Again, go to if I want to apply my Maya key shortcut keys. Viewport, middle mouse into this pan, just close it. Now this is my Maya key shortcuts over here. Just maximize this view. Now there is a one important options over here. I don't require this material editor as of now. Okay, when I've created this cube over here, Just 1 second. We will start, and here we have the option how much size do we require. Here we can change it very easily. Normally what we are seeing into a 3D or any Maya software, here we have the sides. Here we can change as per the requirement. If I turn off these options, here you can see this is parallel to my grid. If that option is off, here we can see it's not will not be a parallel to my grid. If I turn these options, here we can see this will be the parallel to my grid. So this is depend upon the requirement, like how much and what kind of the alignments we required as per our scene demand. We have this hollow. As of now, we are not doing into the interactive or subtractive over here. Now we'll talk about the some cubes. I'll go down. Box brushes, cone, cylinder brushes we have. Here we have the different property, right? So each and every brush have the different settings over here. When we talk about this curve case, here we have the inner radius, outer radius, step height. Here we can change as per the requirement. Angle of curve, if you want to give the more angle to your staircase over here. Number of the steps we have here, you can increase your number of the steps, but once you started to number of the steps, here we can see the rotation angle is getting a change. Maximum stays, number of the curve I can reduce. Add to the first steps. Clockwise, counterclockwise we can change, right? Then we have the linear staircase, control F. Step length we have, step width we have, maximum number of the steps here you can see. Spiral staircase we have. If I'll see over here, this will be my spiral staircase. Go up. Now here we can see the number steps per 360 degree. If I'll increase the maximum number steps into 32, so this will make a 2 spiral rotations over here. And you can see this is the 1 and the 2. If I'll make this into 32, that will be just only the 1 rotations, spiral rotations of that. Again, I'll make this to a 16 or 16. That will be the only the one. Like, slope selling we have. If you'll see, turn on and off these options. Slope floor, if I'll click over here. Counterclockwise, clockwise, counterclockwise. This is just the spheres over here. Select F, select this object. So we have spheres. We can change the shape, and this is only the radius and the tessellations value. This means that I'm adding the more triangular into my scenes. There are many properties is gonna come into the Unreal 5. Right, so if you see over here, like this is the different geometry or the brush type. Here we can see this is the all the brush types we have. This is the benefits when we are doing a prototype of the gaming. So as of now, I'll create. Now we'll see something about the materials. I hope you understood about the static mesh and the geometry brush editor. Now we'll discuss something more about the brushes. So for an example, if I drag and drop any of my object over here, if I want to apply the material by default which I have in my content, what I have to do, I have to do drag and drop of my two object. Drag and drop this to your object. Select this object, drag and drop to that. Just 1 second. Why this is calculating the more times. Let me just create the new level. Simple. First person underscore one. I'm just creating a new level. I'm just drag and drop the cube over here. If you'll see, this is automatically as came. Now, before creating, if I've selected any material, then after I'm dragging and creating this material, so automatically selected material will apply over here onto my selected object. For an example, I have selected this material. This time I'll create the cylinder. This will calculate some time. But here we have seen this. After selecting or creating anything, automatically that material will apply. Here we can see this, right? And there are other benefit we can modify or we can change is this particular material. If I want, drag and drop into this particular area, I can do that. I can change this material into something like this also. So into the different brush editor, we are getting or we can apply this different material as per our selections. Just reduce it over here. View size, thumbnail, I'll just reduce a little bit smaller. That will be very easy to see that. For an example, again, if I'm selecting over here and I'm this time creating any curve steps, stairs, then just select. Here you can see we already applied over here the same material. So everybody have seen the the prototype gaming. So this is very simple way we can apply this material whatever we have in our content browser, or we can import our material from the other softwares as well. When I'll select my brush types, here we can see there are different options we have. We have the geometry over here. If I'll select this my object, right? Here I'm not able to see that properties. If I want to change this particular face, right? Now here you will see I have not selected that object. I have just selected this particular face of this polygon. Here we can see this wireframe into in darker or the little bit brighter into the orange outline. Here we have the geometry and the select in the append, the assign alignments. Once I click over here into the select, like normally in Maya, we have, edit select faces or edit select a continue edges. Same we have select all adjacent surfaces. Now here we can say this every object is apply on the same material. If I'll select over here geometry, select all adjacent surface, select all coplanar surfaces, select all adjacent wall surfaces we have, select all adjacent surfaces. If I click in my viewport and if I click as per my requirement, that particularly face is selected, just drag and drop in that material. It will take some time to apply on that. If I'll click, if I want to get more options or if I want to put my UV texture editors, normally when we are doing, we can rotate, we can do scaling and increase and decrease that particular, the face for the UV. I'll go here and say clean geometry materials. It will clean which material we have applied. All surface to default, right? So this is very useful when we are doing, individually material. Here we are not making the ID. Just below that we have the surface property. If I'll say click on this plan 256, correct, and say 164, this is the movement, UNV textures movement. Now why UNV? We always use for the when we are texturing into the texture editor, UV editor. If I click over here, I can do increase and decrease. Here you can see I'm rotating it. Here I can assign my value, which if I want to give any value, I can do that. This is the pan. This is the clockwise or anti-clockwise rotation of my textures editors. Now if I scale this to my object, you will see it is already calculating the same way. If I'll scale it a little bit down, here you can see my tiling remains the same. 90 degree if you want to rotate, flip U, flip V. Select this, flip U, flip V. I can do that as well. So this is the power of the the BSP or the geometry, the brush editors. I'll select my object, correct. Here we can scale, like if I require to scale into 1.25 and say apply. Here you can see I can scale that as per my requirement, also scale it. Now again, if I scale in the bigger scale size, right? See, here you can see my tiling remains the same. This is automatically will adjust as per the scaling, right? This is a normal. Again, into the BSP, if I'll select or click any object, so it will select that particular face. If I'll say up arrow over here and just select this of my part object over here, here you can say I'm not able to see that particular property. Move. Now I'm able to see the actual property of that, right? So this is into the BSP. This is into the different material. If I'll select any material, then after I'm dragging that particular object, that material will automatically apply over here. A material, we can say, is an asset that can change or that can be applied to the mesh to control the visual look. Correct? I'm just giving into controlling my visual look of the scenes. At the highest level, it is probably the easiest to think of the material as the paint that can apply to an object, but even that can be a little misleading since the materials literally define the type of the surface. Right here, see, this is already applied over here. With your object appear to be the made, you can define its color, how shiny you require. If I double click on that object, I will able to open this material editor over here. I'll just move this. This is my main base material over here. If I want to change any particular property, yes, I can do that as well. Two-sided its material you require, physics material, suffix, opaque material you require. Here we can change into the two-sided. Here we can see it takes some time to calculate in that. But that is the possible how we can do this, into the difference. So all the property we have, I will explain the more detail about, the material editor. If I want to edit that particular material, I need to double click on that. So I'm able to open that material editor slot. And if I want to edit my static mesh over here, double click on that object. So again, this will open my static mesh editors over here, which there are different property into a static mesh editor. We can, play with the collision property, level of detail of property, right? So there are multiple ways. Slowly we will start to work on that. So into the this is the UV sets we have. Okay, here we can stretch as per the requirement. Here I will say I'll reduce into 0.65, 0.625 and just apply over here. You can see this particularly UV scale reduce. So this is really very important. Before applying any material to the brush, always select the main property of that materials. Select up arrow. Here we can see we'll find the more properties. Right. Now we'll see something about the light now. Normally in Unreal, there are different type of the lights are there. We have directional light over here. We have the point light. We have spotlight, rectangle light, and the skylight. So what I'll do, first of all, I'll create my empty level over here. Level underscore 2 if I'll give this. And I'll just drag to my geometry. I'll just create one cube. Just try to scale it, let it down and just scale it. Or I can, increase the size and the length of this. I'll just make this to 100 and 100. And this time I will take static mesh chairs in my scene. Press F. Now first I'll draw a directional light. So first I'll explain what is the in right. We have in Unreal 4, there are different types available: directional light, point light, spotlight, rectangle light, and the skylight. When we talk about the directional lights are primarily use the outdoor light or any light that needs to be appear as it is a casting light from the extreme or the near infinite distance. Point light. Point light, we can say, at the classic light bulb, like the light emitting into all directions from the single point. Spotlight, we have spotlight emit light from the single point. I'll just drag and drop over here. This is the my point light. If I'm drag and drop over, this will be my spotlight. And when we talk about the directional light, again, this will be the one directional light over here. Just try to delete this point light and the spotlight. Here we can say this is only direct into the one axis. Correct. This is the rectangle lights over here. Then we have the skylights over here. Like this will give environment kind of effects, right? I will show how to connect all this together. So now we'll talk something about the the directional light. I'll just drag and drop this. Here you can see this is my directional light. I can rotate. So as per the directions of my light, the shadow will emit. Now directional light simulates light that is being emitted from the source that is a infinity far away. It means, like if my light is here or distance, it doesn't make any sense, right? It will emit the same. It doesn't mean if I'm putting my light near to my object, so we'll get more intensity on that particular area. No. Light, that shadow cast by the light and will be the parallel, making this to ideal choice for simulating a sunlight. So it's better always we can give the rename of this light. Directional light will become my sunlight over here. Always try to give this name. This will be my sunlight over here. Now after creating a sunlight, there are different options. This is the my location, which locations you want to add. Rotations we have, and the scale we have, how much the the scaling we require. In lights or any objects, we have these three options: statics, stationary, and the movable. First, we'll talk about some static, right? Which means that the light cannot be changed in game. This is the fastest method for rendering and allowed for the bake lighting. If I want to bake light, I will always make into the static. This will be a faster result for my game. Now, if I'm putting this into the stationary, which means the light will only have its shadowing and bounce lighting from static geometry backlight. All other lighting will be the dynamic. This setting allow us for the the light to change color intensity in game, but does not move and allow the partial baked lighting. So again, this will take more RAM or the preview time compared to my static lights. Now movable light, if you'll see, which means light is totally dynamic as per when I'm moving my light over here. Shadow, brightness, intensity will be animated. I can do that into the movable. This is how slowest term of the rendering, but allow for the most flexibility during the gameplay. So if I require my light has to be the the lock with the character, so I need to select that light and put it into the movable, right? Okay, so first into the directional light, what we have the intensity over here. This showing you the how much color, brightness, and darkness we require. If you'll see the light colors over here, if I click on this light color here, I can change the light color as per requirement, and we can change with the different method also. RGB we have. Now just click over here. Here we can change the color intensity as per our requirement. For an example, my light has to emit into the red color. I'll put my RGB into the 0, and this will be the 0255, right? So that is become the light color. I can do change as per the requirement. I'll make again this to into the white by default. So this is my directional light. Source angle we have here, we can change the source angle. Source soft angle we have. Temperature, if I click over here, again everybody know about the temperature. I will reduce my lights cooler and the brighter scene I can make with the help of this temperatures. Affect wall, if you want, does not use has to affect on the wall. Now this option is useful when we are applying into a blueprint with the help of this different volume, right? My next sessions will be, I will explain, try to how to use this blueprint. If any character is entering our room, that time light will switch on. If he is, coming out from that room, the light automatically gets switch off. So that is the different volume we will apply with the help of that blueprint. That will be by next sessions. Now temperature you affect, well, cast shadow. If you want your light need to be affect shadow or not, or cast shadow or not, that you can do. Indirect lighting intensity, here you can change. Invisibility, you want to change, it has to come into render or not, that you can turn on that. Actor hidden in the game, once you are playing a game, that time it will hide on that, so there will be a no effect of that. So normally we can say this is the really very important, and this is the requirement of static, stationary, and the movable. So this is depending upon your requirement in the game you want to use into statics, stationary, and the movable light. Now we'll talk something about more about the point lights over here. Just drag and drop, select and delete. I'll select my point light over here and just try to grab near to my scene. So each and every light have the different properties. Here we can see the lights affecting is different. Slowly it's falling off as per the radius. Intensity we have here, you can increase and decrease that particular intensity. Light color. Source radius we have. Now when we talk about the source radius, I will just try to increase the attenuation radius over here. Light is affecting very in that particular area. F11. If I'm just creating the alt and that particular light, here you can say I'm creating duplicate of that light. Just move that light. If I'll try to move that particular area, I can make light as per the requirements. Lighting need to be the result. Again, you will face this error when you have created something new. Light in your scene. Again, build. Light quality you want into production, high, the medium, preview. That is upon your requirements. Just click on this build. Now point light works much more like into the real world light bulb, right? It will emit into the all directions. This will calculating. Here we can see it's calculating and giving the effects into that particular area which I've created. However, for the sake of the performance, point light are simplified down, emitting the light equally in all directions, right? This will go into the all directions, but with the help of the source radius, we can change the modification as well. We have the soft corner radius, how much soft radius you want. Here you can see. Temperature, you can do on and off the temperature if you require. Just select and close. Change as per your requirement. Correct. So that is into the lights rendering visible. Yes, we require by default this most of the same property we have. Just drag down now. Just delete all this point light which we have created. Point light delete. This time I will create the spotlight. I'll just put to drag it into this. Just select it over here. Drag it to the chairs. Press F. Selected object, or if you can double click on your the world outliner, it automatically will get zoom in it. Focus on that selected objects, right? Okay, so I'll select my this spotlight over here. Now we'll see the some property into the spotlight editors. We have attenuation radius. Again, the radius how much you want. In con radius, here you can do the brightness like focus point, where we can do which will be with the high intensities over here. Outer con angles, how much light is spreading over here. Source radius, soft source radius, here you can see radius over here. Source length, we can decrease. Use temperature, we have, we can increase and change the requirements. Indirect light intensities, Again, go over here, we have the same intensities over here. This is the property what we have into the spotlight. Now just again little bit get more. Now we have this skylight over here. Now if I drag and drop over here, this skylight, it's like, capture the distance uh, part of your level and apply that sense of the light. That means skies appears out and its lighting reaction will match even if your skies is coming from the atmosphere. So once we are creating the atmosphere, that time we will use this skylight. I'll show that again in my today's sessions only. We have this rectangle light here. We can see this light is emitting over here. This rectangle light has a spherical attenuation radiuses. I'll select and go down over here, right? Balm door angles, if I'll select and move here, you can see normally when we are looking into any films, they are emitting the big amount of the light, RE lights in their scene. This is the same kind of the effects what we are getting over here. But means it direction into the x-axis only, similar to a spotlight with its own cone set of 180 degree. Here we can see a little bit more effect of this particular rectangular light. However, the specular highlight for the rectangular light show the width and the height of the lights of rectangular. See, simply directional have their own functionality, points cloud have their own attribute, rectangle light have their own attributes, right? So this is depending upon like what kind of requirement is there for that particular light. So again, depending upon on which level you are putting it, depending upon the render quality, graphic card quality which you are using it. Now we'll talk something about the atmosphere fog. So again, I'll just create the new level. This is my blank level over here. This will be a replicate. I'm doing it. So I'll just delete. I'm so sorry. Let me just clear it with the empty. Correct. So as of now, I do not have anything in my scene. So once I go over here, atmosphere fog, I have just drag and drop. Here you can see this is automatically has created our scene as per the day. Atmosphere fog. Now this atmosphere actors provide the realistic scene of the atmosphere, air density, light scattering through the atmospheric media. Atmospheric gives us the approximations of the light scattering through the planetary atmosphere. So what I'll do, I'll just create any simple of my geometry, say box. And increase this as per my requirement, make this to 100 and the 100 only. Press select and this I've selected over here. For example, this is the my angle. Now here we can see in atmosphere fog, we have the sun multiplier property. See, it is automatically the movable, which will take the higher RAM for the previewing. Sun multiplier we have, if I'll select and move over here, here we can see the intensity of the sun we can do. This is normally what we have in Maya and the Max as well. But here we can link this with to different our sunlight or the directional light. We have the fog multiplier here as well, right? Atmosphere fog gives the approximation of the light scattering through the planetary atmosphere. This is the total effects include, right, the dominant of the direction light into our level which receive the sun this effect in the sky. This will be the place infinitely far away, opposite of the light directions. Here we can see we have the distance scales we have. Here we can see the variations how we can affecting altitude scale. Hazeline here we can see it modifying it. Distance offset we have select ground offset. Ground offset is used for the sea level, right? How much sea level is required. By default, this is a minus, you know, value we have over here. Here we have this start distance. We have this sun distance also, sun disk. Here we can select. We will see where is in this in our scene F11. See, this is our sun over here. Here we can see this is the sun. Again, press F11. Select this and go to the sun attribute editor. Here we have sun disk scales. Here we can see we can increase and decrease the sun. Doesn't mean we increase and decrease the sun, that means it will intensity get affected. Brightness here we have. We can make this to a 0. Now if you see, whenever I open Unreal Engine, by default there are atmosphere light, directional light, the BP fog and the haze. This is default. If I want to make my own light setting or the parameter, that I also can do that. So for an example, if this is my scene, now what I'll do, I'll bring directional light into my scene. Now if you see in directional light, I'll make this to a sunlight, sun light. So my directional light is a sunlight. Now what I want to link this sun with my directional light. So whenever I'll rotate my light, my sun and my other effects which is default in there, it will get changed. So what I'll do, I'll select this and go to the atmosphere. I'll type into the search atmosphere. We have atmosphere sunlight. Just select and drag. Here you can see, select and rotate. See, I'm rotating my directional light now. So my environments get affected, right? Just you need to select your directional light, type into a detail component over here and say atmosphere. So this is like atmosphere sunlight. This automatically atmosphere sun which we have created in the atmosphere fog, it will connect with this my directional light over here. Correct. There is a one more options over here which called the BP sky sphere, drag and drop. Now what is the meaning of this BP sky we have? This will create the cloud structure in my scene. Now here I am not able to see. Here slowly, here you can see this is the cloud structure we have. Now what I'll do, again F11, I'll select my BP sky sphere, refresh material. If I modification I've did, whatever changes I've did, it is not showing in my the scene. I just now click onto this refresh materials. Now in direction light actor, I have this sunlight, that is my directional light. Here we can say this has become my scene. So whenever I'll rotate, so my atmosphere and my sky, again select, press F11, BP sky, and just need to click on the refresh. Select this, rotate as per the requirement, select and click on the refresh. Again BP sky, just make on the refresh. Now here we can see in BP sphere we have this cloud features, right? I'll select the BP features and just select. We have the sun brightness value, and refresh over here. Cloud speed we have here, we can see we can animate our cloud opacity. You want more, if you want to make more cloud, a time lapse kind of things, here you can do. Correct. We have the star brightness if you want to give. So normally when we see a time lapse, this kind of effects we can easily will do. Just make it into a 10 or 2. We have the sun brightness. Here you can increase and decrease. Just click on the refresh material, select your sun and just drag it. Right here you say this things is get changed as per my requirement. This is into the real time. I can save this whenever, if I want to make my own preset, I can do that. I'll say preset and save. Control Alt save. Save all. It is asking where you want to save it. You can save this, give this to a name, demo, sky 26. Press enter. Right. Again, go to the edit, project setting. If I do that, maps and modes. Here we can see default startup. If I'm starting any level, so by this is my default, the sky setting which is coming up. Here I can see demo 26. So whenever I'll open my new level, for an example, new level, select this. So that is the light which I've created. It will apply over here. Correct. Again, go to the file, recent level demo sky 26. Select this object. Just 1 second, make a refresh of that. BP sky, just make a refresh of that. Now I need to just change to my light intensity. Sun brightness is too much, make this to only 10. Refresh. It takes some time to show that effect over here, but this is how it create the blank screen, right? First create a daylight, then atmospheric fog you can create. In atmospheric fog you can connect with direction lights property in that atmosphere. Turn on that options. Now go to the cinematics or the visual effects. In visual effects we have the BP sky spheres, drag and drop over here, right? Now we'll see a player start content actors. I'll create again the new layer by default. Don't save. Here you can see by default this is a player start. If my position of that actor is intersecting with other actor, here we'll see, here we are finding a error, bad positions. Make fx11, see the bad size we have. If this is interacting with any secondary actors, here you can see select and stop and play. Just try to make it small. Here's a bad size. Now this player start option is also available into the mode. Select and say player start, drag and drop. So wherever you are dragging, that will be your player start. Your game will start from that particular area. If you see plus, after creating that player start, we are able to see that blue arrow. That will be my directions over there. Select this player start and make a delete. Now if I'll go and play here, you can say I'm on that particular page, right? Escape, go zoom. Now if I'll move over here, so this will be my starting positions. See, when we talk about the player start actor, the ability to spawn a player into the world at any locations, right, is very useful features for the any game. Especially Unreal 4 offer the specials actor that will allow us to do this called the player start. There are very less game engines where we can change and we can put our player start in any directions over there. Player start actions can be found into again the mode actors, right? So there is a by default there is also one options over here. I'll do a right click on my screen. If I'll say play from here, right, you can see by default I've put it that characters into my center of my object. Now if I want my player need to start just only for the prototype gaming view, what I'll do, I'll move my camera as per requirement, right click and say play from here. So automatically my player will get start from here. Now if you see this player is getting a jump, right? So if I'll do, I'll just drag and pull it up again the F11 and say play mode. This will took a little bit more time reaching to its ground. right? In the F11, I'll just put this, my player start. I can change the direction of that particularly. I'll rotate, see, wherever you will see that blue arrow indicates, it's showing you after playing, after once you play a game, that character will look in that particular view, right? So again, F11, I'll just create cube over here, start and select, pull over here, play. Here we can see this is the a static mesh is only. If I'll rotate that into these directions, play, so my direction will be that. There is a one more options for the by default. We can change the player head camera. If I'll say play, here we have the spawn player type. If I'll say current camera location, by default this is my camera. If I'll say play, so this has become my current camera. Stop, escape, click, current camera location. This is the default player start. Here you can say this is by default player start. So automatically wherever I will be in the scene, my game will start. Where is my player? If I want to start from here, play, and if I go down here, you can see I'm gone down. This is the infinity, I'm going down. So for that we have to use the volume, right? Just in case, like after falling this particular area, if my characters is falling down after the few distance, it will be a stop or my game will restart again. So that time we have to use this volume, which we can see a different kind of the trigger as well, right? So I will explain that some of the volume as well, but before that I would like to give you the more informations about the add component over here. See, when we talk about the add component over here, I'll just select and drag and drop. I'll click over here. Here you can see there are different predefined component over here. A component is a piece of the functionality that can be added to an actor. Components cannot exist by themselves. Like normally what we are doing into a Maya, we are creating a control G, it's become a null, right? With the help of null, we are getting XYZ property, but into the Unreal, there has to be some kind of the object where we can apply our component. However, when added to an actor, the actor will have access to and can use functionality provided by component. For an example, a spotlight component, it will allow your character to emit a light like a spotlight. For an example, I'll just create a geometry which with this cylinder, and I'll just reduce the scale. F and a little bit more bigger size. I can go just scale it and just rotate it. Scale it up, pull it up. Now, if I require, this has become my spotlight, right? So what I'll do, I'll select this object over here. I'm sorry, I need to create into the cubes. So go to the basics, cylinders over here, selected. Now rotation, give the rotations, press F, scale it over here. I'll go to my add component. For an example, when I'll go down, we have here the light component. See, this is if I'll create the spotlight. Here you can see this is, wait, just let me drag this to down. Now if select my object, this is showing a static mesh component over here. And this, the light which I've created over here, it's showing the light intensity. So I added one more component over here. Again, I'll create the cylinder. Here you can see cylinder is my static mesh, but it's following with the static mesh component only. But if I'll select this my object, this is the light which we have created inside that with the head of the add component. Doesn't mean we only can add the light over here. I'll just example, I'll create the cube over here, simply drag and drop. I'll go to my add component. I'll search over here a rotations component, rotating movement, right? If you see, this is my static mesh component, and I added a one more component into my static mesh, that is the rotating movement. If you see over here and play, just 1 second. This is the rotating movement. Here we can say, here we have to give the value rotation rate. I'll just give this to a 30. Now just play. Just 1 second. They're getting some mobility, stem and different vital pieces. Let me just create a one more level. Simply save selected. Will be a replace on the same level. I'll just drag my cube over here. Select, press F. I'll go to my add component. For an example, we have applied the rotating movement over here. Select this object, just try to build lights only, like that. Select and just play over here. There is some error, just give me the more value. Movable, I need to make it into the movable. Now give some value to it. What I'll do, I'll just rotate this into this directions. So whenever I play my game, this will be my, the directions. Select these objects, stationary. I'll select these cubes, stationary properties. I not added the add component. This time I'll add to this rotating movement. This is my static mesh and this is my rotating. Pivot translations, I'll make this to a 20. This is 180. Let's play this. So here you can see this is automatically rotations movement. So I have not given any particularly. See, sometimes what happens, we have to work onto the new level. We are getting see here we can see error warning reporting to the whiling editors, right? So this is sometimes we'll get the error. So I'll just select this object. So this is the my static mesh, but with the help of this add component, I've added lots of things. Here we have the audio. We can add more component. For an example, when adding a component to an actor, the cube is my actor. We are putting everything together that will make actor to a whole who will be placed in our level. For example, the wheel on a car, the steering wheel, the body of the car, and the light, etc., would all consider as component where with the car itself is the actor, right? So this is the different actors where we can apply to our object. Once we have added a component to define our actor, it is important to note that you can place actor in our level without providing any blueprint script. Here still I have not added any blueprint, but this is the predefined, we can say, blueprint or the components which we can add easily with our character. For an example, the gas pedal, right, would be a component to the script or code. We can would indicate that the gas pedal has been pressed and turned, provide the logic for the car to speed up, correct? Each component could take the access in this manner: turning on the light, honking the horn, turning off the radio, steering, etc. So I'll create one more cylinders over here and we'll add the lighting component on that. See, initially I'm just showing you what kind of the different actor we have. First we have seen this the basic actors. We have seen the geometric, we have seen the materials, different geometry brushes over here. Add component, we are adding the more lights and informations over here. So again I'm just create the, I'm so sorry, I'll go to the basics and I'll create the more cube. So if I'll create the cube over here, I'll create the more, we can add the more components, movement, navigations. This is, I'll try to show, slowly with the difference when we are creating a level game. And in my next session, I will start to create a game with the session I have taken the early. We will use different triggers and the blueprint in that as well. So if I'll go over here and just say the light, spotlights. So whenever I'll move my object here, you can see that light is also moving in that particular area. Select this light, press F11. Here you can see I'll select my spotlight. This is my stationary. Attenuation radius I can do, intensity I can reduce, select, placed, and they rotate. So normally what we can see a link kind of the options, but this is very useful. Play, stop, build lights only, correct? So with the help of this component we can add. Now we'll see something about the volume editors. Just select that also. Is this okay? Now we'll see something about the volume. What exactly is the volume or the trigger? How these tricks work? See, there are the volume. There are different volumes are available. Post process volumes are there. This is useful when we have did interior render. With the help of the post process, we can change the lens effects, brightness, contrast, the bloom, flare into our scene. For an example, I will use the blocking volume as of now. Select this volume and say blocking. Drag and drop here. So it's kind of the container. Now what I required, I'll just scale as per my size. What I want my game or the person who's playing the games, he will not go beyond this, correct? So what I'll do, I'll just create it this simple blocking and just play this. Here you can say I'm not able to cross this particular ground. So this is I'm blocking over here. A, W, S, B, C. If I'll go down, I'm starting to get fall, correct? Stop, cancel it over here. So this is we can do as per the our requirement, structures, model, or we can create the wall as well. So blocking value serves as a collision shape through which actor are not intended to pass. By adjusting the collision channels of the volume, right? We can control which type of the actor allow the pass. If any actor should go generate the overlap event when they pass through this volume. Here we have the different shapes as well. I selected this volume. We can play the material override as well. Collision preset, invisible wall, spawn. So this is the different, the trigger and the volume which we are giving over here, assigning. Correct. Statics you want, moment you want, statics you want. So that is into the volume we can do. Now we have the trigger volume as well. This will I'll show my next sessions. Trigger volume over here. Now trigger volume can cause the event, correct? When a player or the other object enters or exit them. They can be used with the level blueprint to test out events in the gameplay scenario or functionality without the need for additional blueprint. For an example, we could place a trigger volume in our level, then create an overlap event with the help of the blueprint editor, right? We can create a cinematic scene, example, the winning the race, right? If any character or the game player win the race, then music, background, then all the, after finishing like all that event is start, that we can do with the trigger. Once any character enters or exists within this area of the trigger, right? So that is we'll call the trigger. I'll show that, don't worry, once we'll start to go. There are different volume which need to understand. Now the post process is there. Just example, post process volume, and drag and drop over here. If I'll select this object, select this my object, post process, go to the world, go down. Yes, this is a post process. Here we can see there are lots of options. We can do the Bloom methodology, thresholds. If we want to create or change any, the glow effects in our scenes, exposures, advanced effects that we can change. So there are multiple options. We can easily do that into a post process volumes. Now we have also have the pain causing volume. For an example, I'm creating, this is the the fire in my scene. This is compiling a shaders over here. We just need to wait for 5 to 10 seconds. So I've created this fire. If I want my character, if any character wants to reach over here, let's go into the play mode. So I'm just going inside this particular area. As a real this my health will get slowly reduced. That will call the pain cause over here volume. So I'll select this area and I'll particularly put it into my fire area. Press F. This is the size. If any actor will come inside this area, he or she or the character will started to get the pain, right? Into the pain we have damage per second, how much damage seconds we required. If we'll just make this into the 2, so per second 2 volume will get damage. Pain interval after 2 seconds. Again, if I'm continuously stopping on that particular area, so slowly my life will get over, right? So this is the pain cause volume. See, we have to create such event, but with the help of this different tool, we are clearing our the initial steps. Why this use? We have the pain, then we have the kill, we have the volume. Now we can say a kill. If I drag and drop over here, this is my kill volume. See, everything is coming into the container. Entry or exit is really very important of this. The volume. We also have to use the blueprint editor because we have to create an event for that. When we talk about the Killzy, the purpose of Killzy volume is to prevent object from going out of the bound in the certain type of games, such as a falling off of the cliff into a pit or platformer game, or leaving a spaceship without a chute in a science fiction setting. The Killzy volume, called the fall out of world, function on and any actor enters in it, and by default actor will go through a quick cleanup procedure then destroy the themselves. We can override this behavior for any of our actor type in our game requires something different. For an example, if a key or the other item that the player is required to collect in order to continue the game falls into a lava pit, our game might want to teleport the time back up into that area player can reach rather than destroying it. Or the list inform the player that that item was lost and reload in the last checkpoint rather than the leaving the game into the unwinnable state. For example, kills the volume. So what I'll do, I'll just make this bigger. Let's scale into this area. Put it into 100. 100 is too much. 20 or 10. Make this to again 10. Again make 5. Correct. 5 will work for us. Stop and select and pull it down. So what I'll do, I'll just go to the my top view. I'll just move that volume into this particular area. I'll make a little bit, the bigger size, make it this to a 7. 7 over here. Top again, go to the perspective. This is my kill zone area, right? So what I'll do, I'll go to my play mode now. Play. Once I'll cross that area, here you can see. Let's go back. Let's fall down. See, now here I'm stopped. I'm not falling down. So before that, what was happen, if my kill zone areas is not that particularly, below that ground, and if I'll again go stop and play, I'll go down. So this will be continuous. See, I'm continue falling down. Go down. See, I'm going down continuous. So there are no end. But with the help of this kills volume, here I'm stopping it. Here I can create the event with the help of the blueprint. If any character will come inside this container, right? So this might get killed, or my game will start from my previous level. Correct? Select and make scale if you required more. See, I'm stop over here. So this is with the help of this different trigger or the volume, right? Again, first we need to understood this different actor. There are multiple and various, so many options are there for the volume, where we can need to understand that first. Like into the volume, again we have the different property, refresh material. I'll select this my object over here. Here we'll see have the terminal velocity, priority, fluid frictions. If my character is falling in water or any mud, so what kind of the fluid friction it will give. Water volume is there, like this for the swimming. Once my character is walking on the ground, then it's started to swim. So again, that kind of the effects and the trigger we need to give, we need to click on this water volume. So there are multiple options are there. Various will do again. Now if I want to creating a sky, right, so there is a options. I'll just select and just delete skies, because there is a one more option which I like to show into the skies. Press F, sky sphere, just delete that. Okay, reduce it, P5, just scale and zoom. Now the creating a skies, we can say physically based sky and the atmosphere rendering system, which times of the day feature in the ground space to view the transaction featurings and aerial perspective. If I'll say the sky atmosphere, right? Sky atmosphere, if we'll drag and drop over here, we need to rebuild. Click on this build light. Sky atmosphere component in engine 4, physically sky and the atmosphere rendering techniques. So just select the sky atmospheres. Here we can say sky atmosphere, just select that. So we have transactions, place on the top, place on the component transaction. We will select absolute world origins, right? We will not use the other option as of now, because this is I want in it has to go into the absolute world direction. We don't require particularly to the component. So we have the atmospheric height and width, light again. So for whenever we'll apply this, it also provide an aerial perspective to which you can we can simulate transaction from ground to the sky and outer space with the proper planetary curvatures. Absorption of the some colors may not be noticeable during the different time of the day due to the way of light scattered throughout the atmosphere. So what I'll do, I'll add one directional lights, and we can add more directional lights over here. Now always that is the best way, we always give the name to that particular light, because that is the flow we need to understand. I'll just remove this free sky, I don't require as of now, right? Make a static light, because this light directional light, if I'll select and go over here. I'll make this to a static light because this will not movable. This will be the save the lots of processing power, right? And what we'll do, select, and this again atmosphere light, which I have shown you already. Sorry, atmosphere, the sunlight. Here you can see this. We have created the clouds in 5, correct? We can save this into our level also. Skies, and again create the cloud property, cast shadow, collision event is also we can do. Okay, I'll just delete this. Again, light to be the rebuild over here. 2 inbuilt objects. This is the dismiss. I'll do. There are some error which I'm getting over here related temperature and date untitled one. That's okay. So see, whenever I'll open my any new level, correct? For an example, this is my default. I'm just making this to my default. Here we can see by default atmosphere fog is there, light source, player start, sky sphere, skylight, right? We can easily will create as per the our requirement in that, correct? I hope everybody understood this.